Ad Astra, my fellow space exploration enthusiasts, and welcome to another weekly space update. I am Akshat. Actually, we are the Akshats. This is Advitya, and I'm Aradhya. So, let me take you through some of the highlights over the past week. And thankfully, unlike my previous two space updates, which you can check out in the playlist over here, there were no more high profile astronaut deaths. Frank Borman was the latest to depart to the heavens, but as we all must do, there is no harm in being happy with the life that you have and enjoying your privilege. Okay, so starting off on a relatively light note, there is an astronaut tool bag that showed up in a space telescope photo, and it caused a little bit of a hullabaloo, but of course, it was pretty quickly identified. SpaceX with the Starship test launch, it went off quite well, better than the first one, and the two stages separated. The 33 Raptor engines fired spectacularly for the first stage, and then the engines of the second stage took over, and they did work pretty well. All right, Advita has found her toy bag. All right, Mars will be behind the sun for 2 weeks, so I guess 1 week of that is already gone. And the Leonid meteor shower was peaking this weekend. I did manage to catch a good glimpse of them. You can check out my video about that also in the space list. There was a rogue rocket that was spotted on the moon, but that is confirmed to be a Chinese vehicle, and it was part of the Chang'e 5T1 mission in 2014. So Chang'e is, of course, the Chinese name for the moon, right? And then we move on to the next round of updates, which was about NASA's X-59 jet being painted in pretty patriotic colors. So the red, white, and blue paint job of the X-59 Quest was pretty nice, and it breaks the sound barrier with a loud uh, bang, of course. But actually, uh, that's the oxymoron, because it's going to break the sound barrier silently. So, which is unlike what Advitya can do with her toys. And Algol, the demon star of Perseus, was eclipsed, right? And it's one of the eyes of Medusa's head that is carried by Perseus in the night sky. All right. So the second SpaceX launch, of course, like I said, was quite successful, but both the stages blew up, right, rather than coming back to land. So let's see how it happens. And an astronaut, Jasmine Mogbelli, recently saw Iran from the ISS, and she has never been to the birth country, uh, to her birth country, which is kind of a good commentary on the way human affairs are right now. The Milky Way's visual signals have been turned into a symphony, which is a very nice initiative by Sophie Kastner, and it's nice. 100 women scientists have headed to Antarctica, which is excellent. And I would love that Advitya also becomes a part of the STEM fraternity. Please don't eat the phone, beta. And but let's see, because the past is history, the future is a mystery. So only time will tell what Advitya does and what is for us in the future. Don't eat phones, beta. Play with them. Play with them. Don't eat them. Yes. Papa. Yes. She has started speaking a few syllables. Oh, ho. All right. NASA congratulated SpaceX on the Starship launch. And with that, we come to the next round of updates, in which the next Starship launch could be as soon as Christmas. And the James Webb Space Telescope, of course, discovers a star factory near our galaxy Milky Way's black hole at the center. There is a devil comet which is approaching Earth, and even though 2023 hasn't been a great year for seeing naked eye comets, but The 12P Pons Brooks will come within the reach of small telescopes and even binoculars, and might even brighten to naked eye visibility during March. All right. So the interesting thing is that it seems to have two leading particles that are hurtling through space towards us, which have given it the nickname the Devil Comet. And Tom Hanks has visited Artemis 2 moon astronauts at NASA. Tom Hanks, of course, played a very great character called Jim Lovell in the Apollo 13 movie by Ron Howard, based on the real Apollo 13 mishap. And Advitya has, of course, found my ear once again. It has been found that Mercury has glaciers of salt and they may host life. Wow. Talk about SETI being close to Earth. Although it remains to be seen if salt on Mercury can harbor life. It might be very hot life because it's so close to the sun. All right. And let's see if we can give you a few more updates. Now, of course, I run through them a little fast because there is a lot to cover in a very short amount of time. But there's an update about the first black hole that was ever imaged, that faint sort of nebular ring, the black and orange photo that became famous a few months ago, called M87. And scientists say that it's losing energy through giant lightsaber jets. So yeah, I can see the faint jets of energy. Beta, don't eat the phone. Hmm. Don't eat the phone. Don't eat the phone. Hmm. Hmm. Tweet, 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 tweet. All right. Maybe North Korea has launched a spy satellite into orbit. Okay. And a giant black hole jets pelts Earth with ghost particles. Okay. SpaceX has launched 23 more Starlinks into orbit to add to its constellation, and NASA's EMIT instrument on the ISS is tracking greenhouse gas sources from space. Climate change, of course, is another thing that I focus on. So I will be sharing a little bit of an update about that as well. But first, let's get to an end of this update and tell you about scientists finding hydrogen in Apollo moon rocks. So the rocks that were brought back by the Apollo astronauts have hydrogen in them, and there is a sunspot archipelago which is 15 times wider than Earth on the sun's surface. And there was nearly full moon and Jupiter a couple of days, actually 4 days ago, and we've referred to it as a Purnima. A Purnima means a full moon, and Jupiter, of course, has been all up in the sky all the time. Astronauts celebrated Thanksgiving in space, of course, on the ISS. There is something called a sun goddess particle that has been discovered, and the Higgs boson, of course, was the God particle, and then the oh my God particle, which was an unimaginably energetic cosmic ray. And I guess that brings us to the end of our space update. Uh, I will be catching you up with the latest. Okay, so one more thing to end. The highlight is that Canada has announced new moon mission and ISS astronauts that will be joining other astronauts in the only only, I was going to say Starship, but the only orbital lab apart from China's Tianyang, I think Tiangong. Tiangong is the name of the Chinese space station. All right, so the ISS is going to retire pretty soon, and we have a couple of options lined up. But let's see what happens. The Mars helicopter is continuing to perform well. Ingenuity is the name, and it's leveling up its game. All right. So another thing about climate change: an Antarctic glacier retreated and then totally collapsed. The Cadman Glacier uh, retreated by 5 miles, almost 8 kilometers, and then it collapsed. The United Launch Alliance rocket will send its CEO Tory Bruno's DNA to space. Uh, the first ever mission for the Vulcan Centaur rocket will be on Christmas Eve, December 24. So let's see how that goes. Hopefully, it will be well. There is going to be a full beaver moon in November. Okay, so that was in November. Rocket Lab is preparing for another Electron launch, which will be the first since the September failure. Dark matter may be hiding in the Large Hadron Collider's particle jets. So let's see if scientists can track those down. And data science helps cross check space discoveries, which is great. The haze makes it harder to identify water on alien worlds. Well, just the fact that we can image alien worlds is astonishing to me. All right, and JUICE, the Jupiter Icy Moons Explorer, which blasted off for the Jovian system on April 14, has been covered in a documentary. And let's see what else I've got for you. Okay, so astronauts just watched a cargo ship burn up in the atmosphere, which was the Russian Progress MS-23 cargo spacecraft, and it was basically allowed to go into free fall and burn up in the atmosphere because it was no longer needed. And scientists find a planet forming disk beyond the Milky Way. Auroras have been predicted because of the solar bursts, and I love the concept of auroras. I would love to see either the aurora borealis, which is the northern lights, or the aurora australis, which are the southern lights. So I think I'll prefer to go to Australia and go to Tasmania and try and catch a glimpse of the uh, interaction of solar winds with our Earth's magnetosphere. And China releases first images of the complete Tiangong space station. So, another nice spiral. I was just mentioning that this is the only other space station apart from the rapidly aging ISS, which is going to be decommissioned soon uh, in the later half of this decade. And it's good that Tiangong at least maintains human presence permanently in orbit. And Musk and Israel agree on Starlink satellite internet in Gaza. Hmm. Okay, that's something that I get sad about, so I won't touch about that. Ariane 6 rocket fires its engines for a test. And that's it, I guess. So thank you so much for watching along, and do take care of the planet, do take care of yourself. Let's build a better future for our future generations who are not happy with just one or two, but they want the third phone as well. So here you go, enjoy your phones, little one. And with that, I will bid you adieu and say have a great weekend. Enjoy lots of good football and cricket coming up. The Indian cricket team plays Australia tonight in what could be the series decider if India wins, or it could be the series tire, the drawer if Australia win and make the final match the decider. Don't eat the phone, beta, it'll get spoiled. And Odisha FC take on Jamshedpur in the Indian Super League, and tomorrow night, Sunday midnight, Indian Standard Time, Manchester United will take on Newcastle once again after we were kicked out of the Carabao Cup title defense by them with a 3-0 humiliation. Manchester United, of course, also conceded 3 goals against Galatasaray and only managed to stop from losing with some good defensive displays over in the pit of hell in Turkey. So, from that digression of sports, let's get back to space and Ad Astra once again. Thank you for watching. Smash that sub button for awesomax fun. Like I said in the beginning, check out my other space exploration videos, raps, rhymes, everything under the sun on my channel, on my vlog. And this is Advitya, who always enjoys being on camera. And yes, beta. And soon she will be contributing her own thoughts and words as well. So thanks once again, and goodbye. Take care, stay safe. Check out our other videos.